back to Spirit of the Outdoors. I'm doing my last picking. I am done. Now, I have let it grow up. I have quit watering. Been too hot to fight it. I've got more than I need of stuff. We have gave a good bit of stuff away to people. But I did want to update and make one last video because I have talked bad about Roma tomatoes all year. The ones up there in my bed, for whatever reason, flopped. I mean, absolutely did not grow, died, never got a tomato. Down here in this garden, these 5 plants, you look, they're loaded up. They have held through the heat pretty well. So next year, we'll probably plant Romas again. I probably won't put them in those beds, but now my plan is I'm gonna do away with those beds. The logs are rotting. I'm gonna take the logs apart and scoop the dirt up and probably make one big bed somewhere back over here where my other small bed is, in reach of a water hose. I don't know, once I get my back patio built, I may decide to rearrange and put a bed up there, especially if I add water over there. But I couldn't water that effectively because I moved my water catchment system back over here. So I'm gonna probably redo some things, and I have struggled with some disease on the other end of this garden. So it's time to move and shift some things around. So I may move my tomatoes back over to the other side of this little area where I've been planting some, and do some things different next year just to try to mitigate the disease. We're gonna grow some wheat so that we can put wheat under these tomatoes. It seems to work way better. The pine straw inhibits some blight, I think, in my experience. So this year I didn't do anything to see, and the blight really was bad. So next year we're gonna go with wheat straw, and I'm gonna plant that to have it on hand to put on there. But I wanted to show you these Roma tomatoes. Now we've made a lot of, or Michelle has made a lot of spaghetti sauce type stuff, pasta sauce, out of these Roma tomatoes because they're not real juicy and they're more of a meaty. But I just wanted to show you, I'm starting with an empty 5-gallon bucket, and this is just off 5 plants of Romas. I'm gonna pick all of these and that are ripe and see how much we get, how big of a bucket full. But I didn't want to leave nobody in the dark. I've talked bad about Roma tomatoes, and y'all, most of them are a mite small. However, average size on most of them. Now, some of them got a little bigger right in the beginning, but this is about the average size. And y'all, they clustered up, easy to pick. Now, the foliage is all dead. We're done with them. When I pick today, I imagine the birds is gonna get the rest. So I'm just picking, and just to show you around a little bit, the cucumbers are still making some, but I have quit watering and fighting. I've just, at this point in life, the garden, I'm kind of done with it. I've got all I need now. I have okra over there that we are just starting to really cut okra. Because I cut all, it got too big. I could have done loaded up if I'd have wanted to, but I've been focused on other things. And so I cut all it yesterday, and I'm gonna start cutting it every day in the afternoons a little bit, and get us some okra. I'll just slice it up and freeze it. But I'm gonna pick these 5 plants. Now, I have done picked a 5-gallon bucket full of the celebrities, the better boys, and I have one plant down here that is of the big beef. And I am a fan of it, but now my seed didn't come back. So next year, I'm probably not gonna start my own seed because it put me late, and I wanna get my garden done and get it in before the heat. So we're probably gonna just buy plants next year. I have seed saved if I need seed. But anyway, let me pick all these and we'll pick you back up. Now, I will say, this particular vine, I'm getting a few bigger tomatoes, so it has a lot to do with the amount of water, the location, and all of that. I want people to know I'm well aware of all that stuff. But all the soil is supposedly the same. Obviously it is not. But now they do grow in, well, I broke out and off, so they falling off once upon them, but you can pull the whole clusters off like that of these if you wanted to. Y'all, I have picked a 5-gallon bucket heaping full of just Roma tomatoes off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants. So, you know, with all my griping about them, they're probably not my favorite tomato, but my wife seems to like them, and she likes the fact, and this is one that I didn't pick because the birds had got a hold to it. But you see, there's not a lot of juice on the inside. It is a real meaty tomato. So for making like paste and stuff, like tomato sauce that you want thick, this is a good tomato to use. So it has its place, it has its purpose. We'll probably be growing it again, give it a chance. I'm all about giving something a fair chance. So I prefer the bigger red tomatoes. Y'all, the hillbilly potato leaf and the Cherokee purple really flopped this year, and they normally do really well for me. So we're gonna condition and do things a little bit different. Now this year I got real busy and I didn't put as much diligence into really safekeeping just the tomatoes like I normally do in my bed. And usually the garden, I don't focus on these tomatoes a lot. I focus on my beds. Well, the beds didn't do that great this year. And I think it's time to redo some of the soil. So that's part of the reason for moving them before next spring. I don't know exactly when that'll happen. Probably over the course of early in the spring next year is when it'll happen. So anyway, this is me being through with the garden. I am still gonna cut a little okra. The green beans, y'all, those Kentucky Wonders didn't do anything. Now my rattlesnake pole beans do really well. They come up kind of sparse this year. Kentucky Wonder, I don't know. They just a lot of vine and not much bean. So, you know, I'm not really digging them either. Maybe plant them again, give them another chance, different location, something else. But anyway, thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. We'll see you next time. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one. It's hot this morning. Man.